Hey guys, how's it going? So yesterday, Gretchen Whitmer signed red flag laws into law here in Michigan. We're going to talk about that. And if you guys hang on with me here, the second half of the video, I actually have some good, encouraging news for you. There's going to be an awesome rally in Lansing, a Second Amendment rally. We'll get to that in a minute. So let's get the bad part out of the way first. Then we're going to have some encouragement because that's what we need right now. And that is the purpose of me doing this channel, is to inform you and to encourage you. We need to fight like hell so we never, ever, ever become a communist country or a communist state of Michigan. Because if we do, we ain't going to get it back. So from the beginning of this session in January, I've been talking to you guys that gun control is like a huge, possibly the #1 priority of the Democrat-controlled legislature and governor in Michigan. And if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and go back and look at my library. I have the most comprehensive library of videos concerning all of this rampant gun control bills and laws that have just been hitting Michigan like crazy in the last couple months. So previously we had the universal background checks, licensing and registration scheme passed in Michigan as law. It was part of an 11 bill package that would include safe storage with many different stipulations there, especially with minors in the home. Go back and watch my previous videos if you're unfamiliar with that. Now red flag laws have passed. Look, they're all bad. None of these are okay whatsoever, but this is the worst. This is a doozy. Because not only does it violate your Second Amendment protected right to keep and bear arms, but quite frankly violates almost the whole Bill of Rights, the 14th Amendment. And I'm just going to say this bluntly. In the United States of America and in the state of Michigan, if we're following the supreme law of the land, both constitutions, a law like this would not even be allowed to exist. So that shows you how far we've fallen, that they could even consider a law like this, let alone pass it. It's been called take the guns first, then due process, which, as you know, is no due process at all. That's completely contrary to the due process that is afforded to you and protected by the United States Constitution. So it's basically pre-crime. If a whole plethora of people, including many different family members, your ex, geez, how could that go wrong? Somebody you've previously co-inhabited with, an old roommate, any police officer, mental health professionals, the list goes on and on. Let me know down in the description. I could actually do a deep dive, long format video or live stream just on this red flag topic, because I'm already seeing some misinformation being put out in the media, and it is very confusing because there were so many alternate forms of this bill that had swapped around, and it was kind of chaotic at the end before it did finally pass. So basically, somebody could red flag you. They can shop to any court that they want in the whole state. And we're going to go on in a minute here talking about how, yes, the Attorney General and certain prosecutors are going to be educating people in Michigan, teaching them how to properly red flag people. Can you believe this? Well, you should believe it. Because although the Dems have a very narrow majority in the Michigan Senate and the Michigan House, the governor's a Democrat. The Attorney General, the Secretary of State, and the Michigan Supreme Court now has a liberal leaning. So things aren't good. And if there's any way you're sitting there thinking, oh, there ain't nobody coming for your guns, you need to pay attention to what's going on right now. Because all of these gun control bills, there's about 4 dozen in Michigan right now. Some have been signed into law. They're saying this is the floor, not the ceiling, and they're just getting started. So somebody can make an allegation and say you're a risk to yourself or others. Now, this could be a baseless claim. It could have merit in some cases, but in many cases, in my opinion, this is going to be revenge. People trying to enact a vendetta. Like I said, this does include your ex-roommate, ex-wife, girlfriend, husband. Yeah, you can only imagine how bad these are going to get abused. They can file in any court they want and go judge shopping. So you could live in the UP, and they could file the red flag order in Washtenaw County, which I would bet that's one of the main counties they will be judge shopping and filing them in. Then there's what's called an ex parte hearing, where a judge would hear just from one side of the story. At this point in time, you wouldn't even know you've been flagged. You have no right to an attorney to go there and represent you. You have no right to put forth what's called exculpatory evidence, meaning evidence that can show that you're indeed innocent and that you're not a threat and this person is just trying to ruin your life and get your guns confiscated. So when the judge would look at this, first of all, you're not there. You don't get the right to face your accuser. You can't say anything for yourself. It's he said, she said, but it's not even that. It's just she said. Meanwhile, you're just at home thinking everything's okay. Now, when the judge looks at this, they are not going to be looking at a burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, which is how it works in criminal court now. It's going to be a much lower standard than that. And if they decide to issue the red flag order, you're going to have cops come to your house, serve the order, and take your guns. Yes, this is a gun confiscation measure. Now, you may have family heirlooms. You may have very valuable investment-grade guns. All guns are valuable, obviously, because you're using them to protect yourself with and your family and your country if need be. They'll take every single gun you have. Now, no, they're just coming for the guns. This is just gun confiscation. Because if you got red flagged because you're a danger to yourself or others, say you were a danger of taking pills and hurting yourself with that and got red flagged, they just come take your guns, but not the pills. And if you're threatening somebody with a knife or a bat, they won't take the bat or the knife. They won't take the potentially dangerous person out of the home. No, they just come take the guns. And for anybody that says this is common sense and they're doing this to try to save lives, requires the listener to be dumber than the speaker, because I'm going to say it again. They just take the guns. I think many times these are going to be false allegations, but clearly there are some dangerous people who need to be separated from certain situations. Everybody is not an angel, as we know. We've always known that. However, they don't take the person. I'm going to say this one more time. It's take the guns. Now, you might not be knowing that there's police coming to take your guns, and you can only imagine all the things that could happen. There's already been people in Maryland, namely, where the guy was unsuspectingly red flagged. Thought there were burglars or people coming to break into his house. Yeah, and he went to defend himself, and the cops killed him. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed with this, and this is very, very dangerous on both sides when unsuspecting people are coming to get their guns confiscated. Now, if you own 300 guns and you get red flagged, they will take all 300. If you own one gun, they're going to take your one gun. This is all guns they will take. Now, then you get to come back after you're notified. You didn't even know anything was going on until you have cops at your door saying, we're coming for your guns. Guys, I have to vent for 2 seconds. I'm still getting comments every day of people saying, ain't nobody coming for your guns. No. If you're red flagged, they can judge shop to any court in the whole state, and they are not beyond reasonable doubt standard. It's just, if they believe the one person and you're not there to stand up for yourself, they will come and take your guns, every last one. Now, you can have a hearing where you can come and appeal. This is where I said it violates so much more than just the Second Amendment and Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 6. You have to now come back and prove your innocence. Now, you don't get a court-appointed attorney because technically the red flag order is not a criminal procedure, it's a civil procedure. So you'd have to do that representing yourself. Usually not a very good idea. Usually it doesn't work out very well. But if you violate the red flag law, which they can take your guns for up to a full year if you don't win your appeal, if you can't prove your innocence, guilty, and you have to come back and prove your innocence, like I said earlier, this can't even exist in America. Makes me wonder what country we're actually living in. If you guys know, please let me know and answer that down in the comments as well. So they take your guns first, then no due process at all. Then you can come back and prove beyond any reasonable doubt that you are innocent, and then you could get your guns back. But you kept your guns in a climate-controlled environment. You put them in a silicone sock when you transported them. Because if you're into collector-grade weapons, whether they're new or especially very old, milsurps, things like that, you know just one scratch in the lacquer, just one dinging in the bluing, could take like a $5,000 presentation or museum-grade rifle bring it down to $1,000 that quick. That's how it works when you have these highly collectible firearms. If I do opine, the cops are going to pile them in the trunk of their vehicle. If you have a large collection, they'll probably bring in a truck and just stack them up like cordwood somewhere at the police station. But they probably won't want to take the space inside because they're usually very limited. Your guns will probably, in my opinion, in many cases, be out in the pole barn out back. That's probably not climate controlled. Your guns could come back rusted, dented, dinged. Maybe they'll show up missing. Imagine that. I don't think any of these concerns I have are far-fetched at all. But this has passed. It did pass with immediate effect, which is a complete dog and pony show in the House. Tune back into the channel. I've literally showed how this works on live streams. However, in the Senate, they were able to stop it from taking immediate effect. So it'll take place 90 days after sine die, which is when they gavel out at the end of the session, not to return again until the new session starts, which presumably will be 3 months from January 2024. So these would actually go into effect in April. However, the Democrats may have a trick up their sleeve. I've learned from Lansing insiders they may be ending session early, so just keep that in your memory bank. We'll talk about that more a little later. I want to read 2 quotes real quick, and then we're going to get to this rally, okay? There's a lot to this. If you guys want more videos or longer format, let me know. I'm going to try to keep this within 15, 16 minutes because that seems to be what a lot of you guys like to watch, but I could talk hours about this, and I do know a lot more than I can talk about in this little bit shorter video. Okay, here's what the governor said. And this is pretty scary if you really think about this. She said it is a public house crisis that is unique to the United States of America. That's just completely untrue. I want to let you guys know. And I've actually totally refuted this in a past live stream a few weeks ago. Whitmer said, "We are now getting the state of Michigan on the right side of a lot of common sense gun policies that have been proven to save lives." Not true. Listen to this. "And I think that always has to be our North Star." Yeah, the North Star, the guiding star in the sky that tells you where due north is. This is their compass. The governor of Michigan has just said that our North Star of Michigan is gun control. Don't forget that. Now here's what the Attorney General said. Dana Nessel. And I know I've been asking you guys to chime in the comments a lot, but please, I like to do what you guys want me to do videos on. I can provide more context to this in a future video. Attorney General Dana Nessel told the Monday crowd, this was at the signing of the bill, they made a big ceremony and celebration and party about this, but we're going to have a party here soon, so hold on, that she is already planning to travel to as many areas of the state as possible to educate members of the public, law enforcement, judges, and others, quote, about the importance of these laws and how they can be best utilized. That's, you know what that's telling me? In my opinion, that says they're going to be using your taxpayer dollars and they're going to educate all of the public and teach people how to red flag as many gun owners as they possibly can. This is literally thought crime. This is if you see something, say something. Yeah, this is what communist countries have done for the past 100 years. I'm telling you guys, the wolves are at the door here. There's a lot to this, and this is just the beginning. About the importance of these laws and how they can be best utilized. Now listen to the next part, and this is where I can do follow-ups. "And for those in law enforcement who refuse to enforce these important orders, let me say this loudly and clearly. I will make certain that I find someone with jurisdiction who will enforce these orders." Nessel said, now I was just at a County Board of Commissioners meeting in Livingston County a couple weeks ago where they reaffirmed their Second Amendment sanctuary status, and they reaffirmed that they are a constitutional county. I was also just at an event a couple days ago, the 2A Patriot 2A Day, and I was talking to Livingston County Commissioner West, and he reaffirmed to me, he said, no, we do have the authority to make this resolution. I know Monroe County and many others have now also passed or are in the process of passing. Monroe's passed it, so has Livingston for a second time, affirming, saying no. We will defund and use the power of the purse if the sheriff tries to arrest people on these new gun control laws or exercise these red flag orders. Now, I did hear Sheriff Murphy of Livingston County speak at that same event a couple days ago, and he said no, his sheriff's department's not going to do that. They're not going to be executing these red flag. Nessel is saying in these instances that she's going to bring people in who do have the jurisdiction and will make these enforcements. I have more information on the whole 2A Sanctuary County thing. Let me know in the comments if you guys want another video on that. And this video is already going long, and I'm just getting started, guys. There's so much to do with this. Now, at that same event this last Saturday, You guys should go to these events when I talk about them. You build camaraderie. You get to meet people. You can interact with your government. I was hanging out with my friend, 2A Defender, Michigan Representative Bob Bazat at this same hangout last Saturday. I've actually gone to so many of these events and gone to the Capitol so many times. I've gotten to interact face-to-face with many of the Michigan representatives and senators. So I'm going there. I'm not part of an organization. I just go there as myself and on behalf of all of you. And this is very important. I'm going to keep doing it as much as I possibly can. If you guys would like to help support my efforts, there's links down there in the description. You can support me on Locals, YouTube channel member, or Patreon. Now, I was also hanging out with a guy named John Rocha, who's a cool dude and a buddy of mine. And you guys have been asking about this for months, and here you go. There's going to be a huge rally at the Capitol, July 19th, right there on the Capitol lawn. And this is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, this is the kicker. The Michigan legislatures are going to be in session. So your reps and senators are going to be there. They have to walk from across the street over to the building. Let me tell you what, I know a lot of the representatives. I'm going to be there. I hope you guys come and see me. I'll introduce you to reps. I'll do whatever I can to help get everybody involved in this process as much as possible. Now, this is going to be a big event. We're talking between 4,000 to 5,000 people are going to be there. There's going to be tons of vendors, food trucks, all that kind of stuff. And there's going to be some huge, I'm talking like everybody here knows who they are, national celebrity type speakers there. Now, I know who all the speakers are. And that's why I have such a big smile on my face. There's some really cool people coming. However, we're only going to be able to reveal once a week just to build some height to who the speakers are. But I can tell you one of them that's going to be there is Kyle Rittenhouse, the Kenosha kid. So Kyle Rittenhouse plus a couple other mystery people that I promise you're really going to like and really going to be happy to see them there. So 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. When I get a digital copy of this and more information, I am going to post it here on YouTube, as well as make sure you're following my Locals, and I'm also on Facebook. But yes, I can't quite let the whole cat out of the bag yet, but I did get the inside scoop on what's going on with this rally. It's going to be huge. It's free to go to right there at the Capitol. I've been to many Second Amendment rallies at the Capitol, and they've always been a lot of fun. So I hope you guys come. I want to see you. There'll be a lot of you there. There's a lot more of you than me, but make sure you come up and say hi. And like I said, I'll help introduce you to your rep if you want me to. Show you around the Capitol. I'll do whatever I can just to get more and more good people involved in this fight. So yeah, there's going to be live music, speaking events. Here's a little bit of the basic itinerary. Vendors are going to be coming in starting at 8 a.m., live music at 10, speakers at noon. There's going to be a private event at 4. Kyle Rittenhouse will be there. And that's just the beginning. And I've already gone over 16 minutes. So let me know in the comments what you want me to focus on more with this stuff. And I can do several different follow-ups at your request. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And have a good one.